Oh, trying to get my feet bounced on here. Hold on. There we go. So before I begin talking about last night's episode of The Masked Singer, in space, I actually have to do one. Actually, I have a couple major shout outs. One of which is actually my high from yesterday. But you know what? Let me get my low is the fact that we had dinner like super late. I had dinner at 9 o'clock at night last night. Not fun. Very late. Very late. But first of all, technically it's two major shots because both these people have the same birthday today. But first is one of my all-time favorite voiceover actors, Colin Clinkenbeard. Your birthday is today. Happy birthday, Miss Clinkenbeard. I hope all is well. Thank you for voicing Luffy for me. That is, your performances as Luffy never disappoint. You always slay it. Thank you. But also, today is actually my brother's birthday. Yeah, it is my brother's birthday. He turns 35 today. Which, I mean, you know, I posted the stats on social media, but I guess I can tell the story now. The night that I was celebrating my 23rd birthday, so around 12 years, so just a little under 12 years ago, I'll never forget it because it was a Saturday night and we celebrated at Libs, which, come on, it's Libs, it's Libs. Best place in the area. If you're going to celebrate your birthday, celebrate it there. And on the way home, and this is what I'll remember the most, it was on the way home. We're passing by the airport via view of the highway. And I remember thinking to myself, my mom and dad have been there for every birthday I've ever had. So, naturally, the worst birthday I would potentially ever have would be the first birthday that both of them aren't there anymore. And I remember feeling, sad about that. Little did I know that the very person driving me home would have to me, this is a very important conversation I had with this person some years later, in 2017, where he pretty much said, we've got mom and dad for probably another 30 years, and then we're stuck with each other. You know what? I know that, listen, I hold no doubt that that day is going to come. And I have no idea what the future holds. And that's scary. But if I'm stuck with my brother after that, I don't think I'd have it any other way. I mean, it's not like we're going to be completely alone. I mean, we're going to have families, right? Although that does remind me, I do need to get my nephews and auntie. I really need to get my nephews and auntie. That'd be really cool. But regardless, as long as this person's in my life, I'm going to be okay with that. So happy birthday, my brother. I hope all is well with you, your wife, and the kids. I'm sure, technically we already celebrate on Sunday, but my mom wants to get together probably on Friday night, which I'm okay with doing. I'll get together on Friday night, why not? Although I do need to get a nice outfit ready for that. I don't entirely know what I'm going to do. I'll think of something. So I just talked about my low and my high. Oh, actually, I didn't talk about my high yet. Sorry. My other high is the fact that yesterday the dairy barn opened. I went to opening day at the dairy barn. It was awesome. Got myself an Elvis sundae. For those of you who don't know, an Elvis sundae is peanut butter and bananas. And I had that made with an ice cream called Caramel Praline Turtle. It was so good. There was like a lady who was like done eating. She walked by where I was sitting and she's like, "That looks really good. What is that?" And I told her what it was. It was really good. And it was so nice to see how packed the dairy barn was. It was a long line. I mean, the lines are notoriously long, and maybe the staff is a little bit slow, but come on, yesterday was opening day. I'm going to be forgiving for that. I mean, they literally just opened yesterday. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day. I'm easily willing to cut them some slack on that. So, congratulations to the dairy barn on what really did appear like a successful opening day for the season. I definitely will be coming back more than once. And I can't wait. Now to get to my act of kindness, which I brought well, actually, there was a guy that was visiting my folks because he had to work on something. So my mom left that person a note. So my mom gave me specific instructions for that person to read the note. I also brought in the garbage because yesterday was garbage day. So, and here's the really cool thing. Yesterday was like the perfect day, weather-wise. It was like 70 plus degrees. I mean, there were clouds in the sky, but there was definitely a lot more blue sky than, big old clouds. So, I call that a really great day. I just wish we didn't have dinner so late last night. So anyway, good morning and happy Thursday. We have a new episode of Hot Ones today, but we have a new episode of The Masked Singer to talk about right now, in which the theme was Masked Singer in space. You gotta say it like that because, it's in space. You gotta do it like that. Otherwise, it doesn't work. I promise I won't. I promise I will not be heavy-handed with that, okay? So, obviously the theme was they were space-themed, songs. Now, the Dandelion was the returning champion, and her first song was Straight by Muse. And she was really good, which even further surprised me that she was the first one to get eliminated. I know. Seriously, maybe the singers that are just coming up out of nowhere really are that good. But I swear, it feels like every time we get a champion, we immediately, lose them to somebody else. It's even sad, too, because the Dandelion was just one night away from making it to the quarterfinals, which are next week. And the Dandelion, and here's the even cooler part. Ken Jeong got it right. Ken Jeong actually got the guess right. He guessed Alicia Witt. And she was really good, too. But, let's get to the next two contestants. And, ultimately the two people who would be in, the Battle Royale, which was the Lamp and UFO. Now, the UFO, that is actually a perfect, you would think that because the theme was in space, you gotta have, a bunch of alien themes. No. A Dandelion doesn't do a space. A lamp doesn't do a space. The UFO is the only thing that legit matched the theme. And anyway, the lamp did Venus by Bananarama, which, makes sense. Venus is out in space. It's a planet, I mean, I know Venus is also a Roman god, or goddess, I believe. But, Venus is also the second planet from the sun. Which honestly always kind of fascinated me how it's the second closest to the sun. Because, it's the sun, then Mercury, then Venus. The Mercury is closer, yet Venus is actually hotter. I don't know, that was kind of fascinating me. course, neither one of those two planets is inhabitable. Okay. So, we get to the Battle Royale, and I'm so glad I actually guessed this right yesterday. Because, I knew there would be some space-themed songs. The vast majority of the songs I guessed were like Starman and Ground Control of the Major Tom by David Bowie. But I also guessed the song that wanted to be in the Battle Royale too. Elton John's Rocket Man. Yes! Oh man, Elton John's Rocket Man. Love that song. Who doesn't love that song? It's Rocket Man. And both Lamp and UFO were really good. But as good as Lamp was, as soon as UFO started saying, like, okay, UFO is totally going to win. And she did. So congratulations to the UFO. You are now the third champion and one of the contestants heading into the quarterfinals, along with the California Roll and the Macaw. And I have to say, of these three champions, I'm going to say UFO is the best of those three. Straight up. I think UFO is better than both the California Roll and the Macaw. Although, between those two, it's the California Roll that's going to provide the challenge. Because the California Roll, that's what happened to Medusa. That's not one singer, it's actually five. 5 against 1. Not really the best odds. But we've seen upsets like that before. We literally a season ago, we saw the harp beat the lambs in a Herculean display, which could only be described as championship caliber, which the harp wound up winning, so it's possible. Then again, the Lambs are only 3 people, where the California Roll is 5. Although, if there's any guess I'm legitimately making as to who's who, come on, guys. The California Roll is totally pentatonics. Who hasn't guessed it's pentatonics yet? Seriously. Totally pentatonics. In all my excitement, I forgot to mention that the UFO did Yellow by Coldplay for her solo performance. And then she's in the Battle Royale. Oops. So the UFO won, and the Lamp had to get unmasked. And, okay, y'all know me. I grew up in the 90s. I was there when, Nickelodeon was only just getting its groove on. You know what I mean? It hit that boom, and it just took off. And I remember all the best shows that I ever had. I was there for Doug. I was there for Ren and Stimpy. I was there for Rugrats. I was there for Are You Afraid of the Dark? I was there for all that. I was there for Keenan and Kel. But one show it's ironic. Arguably the one show that's probably... I didn't really care much for this show back then. But I bet if I watched it now, I'd be like, this is a really good show. And that was Clarissa Explains It All. That's right, the Lamp was Melissa Joan Hart. And for those of you wondering, yes, I did watch Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I would watch when it was on. Obviously I didn't religiously watch that show, but I saw the episodes that, I've seen the episodes. I've seen my fair share of episodes. And they're all pretty much reruns, but it works. So, yeah, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, that was a good show. But 90s kids know better. We had Clarissa Explains It All. And neither one of those two shows would be possible without Melissa Joan Hart. She made those two shows work. That being said, what I find most impressive is That was actually the first time she's legit ever performed in front of a crowd. Like, she is legit nervous and everything. Like, she doesn't do well in front of crowds. I did not know that. Which I guess kind of makes sense. I mean, when you think about it, it's not like Clarissa Explains It All or Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Well, actually, I think Sabrina the Teenage Witch had a laugh track. So, I don't think she did any of those performances, in a crowd. Much less sing in front of a crowd. So the fact she did as well as she did in front of a crowd, considering that she was probably really nervous, that says a lot. So, thank you, Melissa Joan Hart. Congratulations on 2 really great performances you had, for sure. I'm pretty sure I speak for a lot of 90s kids where, when I say, it was great to see you again, and I hope your time on The Masked Singer is the only time you ever get to hear you sing, because you're really good. You're like really, really good. It's unbelievable. But with that said, we have a Supreme 6 now, because I just saw because literally as I was looking at my notes, they mentioned that the next week is going to be the Supreme 6 or whatever. So it's the Macaw, California Roll, UFO, Medusa, the Gargoyle, and who was the last person they saved again? Hold on, let me look it up. The Mantis. Okay, yeah, the Mantis. Okay, so that's 6. Don't know what next week is going to bring in store, but actually, how are they going to do this? I mean, I could definitely see them do 6, because they've done 6 performances in the span of an hour before, and just have one unmasking. And next week would be episode 10. They could give us a full 16, and by Memorial Day we have a champion. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they wind up doing. Although, speaking of, I mentioned that Ken got Alicia Witt right once. When it was the Lamb's turn, everybody else guessed Melissa Joan Hart except for Ken. That was hilarious. So we have a new episode of Hot Ones today. Excited for that. But right now, I'm just gonna relax and wait for Hot Ones to show up, to premiere. It's the season finale, We got Jay Gyllenhaal. I hope y'all liked this video. If you did like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on social media. As always, I enjoyed holding this video. For all of you guys watching Jordan today, I want to get a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Thursday. Remember, for things where I'm talking to, I'm here to lend me always back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.